Hey guys, it's Kelly here again and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another art related video. Today I have something special for you. I have decided to participate in a way in MerMay 2020 and I have never done this before. I've never actually drawn mermaids before. I've never participated, and to be quite frank, I never really understood the fascination in the art community when it came to mermaids, but after drawing a few for practice, I kind of get it, okay? I get it. I'm not going to be drawing every day. I am just going to pick for each week. So I will be doing a weekly mermaid challenge, and that's just because I know I can't keep up with all of the days, and I know I'm going to just not have time, and I'll disappoint myself and anyone who wants to see more of my mermaids. So I'm going to say that it's just going to be 5 mermaids, and I've picked one prompt for every week. And today I'm going to be bringing you prompt number 1. First, I'm going to show you the sketch that I did because I thought it would be fun to do them in my toned notebook, sketchbook. So this is the only place you're going to see the original sketch. I'm not going to be uploading it anywhere else. And I just did some fun shading because I felt like it and I thought it would look cool. And here she is. So can you see it? Did I fit it? I fit it. Okay, so for the first prompt, I went with Royal and I drew this snobby mermaid princess, and as I said, I just wanted to practice a little bit in my tone sketchbook with shading, with highlights, and I thought it turned out really cute. Another thing that I'm going to be mentioning is all of my mermaids I will upload on Etsy as coloring pages, so you can download them and color them the way you want to. Now that out of the way, I present to you mermaid number 1, the Royal Mermaid. I did the line art digitally and I printed that out on marker paper, and I will be coloring this for you guys. I'm just going to show you this because I struggled quite a bit trying to figure out the color scheme that I wanted to color her in, because I had the idea, and initially I had an idea, but I figured out that I didn't have the colors to execute this idea, so I struggled a lot figuring the colors out, but I think I've come up with a color scheme, so I guess we'll see just how I did that in a second. I will go into a overvoice now because I prefer to listen to something while I draw, and I won't be much fun talking to you. So yeah, let's just get into it. And hello, I'm back as a voiceover. So what I did, first off, I printed out this line work that you can again find on Etsy. I will have the link in the description bar down below, but I printed it out on marker paper. I stuck it to the desk so it doesn't move around while I record and while I cover it, and then I just started coloring with my compact markers. I will have on the screen the names of the markers that I used as I use them in case you want to recreate this with the colors that I use, but the fun in coloring pages is just doing whatever you want, so I would be really happy to see what you guys come up with as color schemes. If you download this line work and what you do to color it, I would be super interested. You can always tag me on Instagram. I have my handles again in the description bar down below, and you will find my finished version there as well. But yeah, I'd be really happy to see what you guys come up with. As I said, I will upload it on Etsy. I have the 2 files ready. They're both A4. You can of course shrink them if you want. One is just a blank white background with the line work as a JPEG, and the other one is a no background, just the line work PNG. So if you decide to color it in Photoshop and do it digitally, you can. Yeah, I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. So in terms of my version of the coloring and my mermaid, I tried to do something that I ended up realizing that I can't really do. So I wanted her to be very pale blonde and icy, kind of like an ice queen. It made sense for what I had as an idea because the prompt was royal. I wanted her to be very snobby and very cold and distant looking, and I wanted her to be very, very pale. But unfortunately, some of the markers that I was planning on using had dried out, which is insane because I never had a dried out marker. But because the skin color marker that I wanted to use, I believe it was R00, that's my favorite pale skin tone base marker. So just for reference, if anybody wants to create a very pale color, that's a really good base color. And that one was dried out, and that one was going to be perfect. It was exactly what I was kind of hoping for, but I had to switch it a little bit. So she has a bit more color than I anticipated her to have. But yeah, because some of the markers were dried out, I had to figure out another way for the color scheme to work. I also experimented. You can kind of see in the bottom right corner the version with the green tail that I tried. It was really cool. I liked the green. I really wanted to use that green, but unfortunately it was just too vibrant, and I think it pulled too much the attention towards it, and that wasn't exactly what I was going for. So I scrapped that idea and I used the green color just for accents in her eyes. So I believe that's the only place I used the teal pale green color. And the rest of the colors you can actually see on screen, both on the screen, and the names I'm gonna put on little tabs so you guys can follow along if you want. But yeah, that's basically it. As I said, this was the prompt royal. I am going to be doing just weekly mermaids, not every day. Just pick one from the official MerMay prompt list, and I'll figure out something to do with that one. I already have a few planned out. I haven't drawn them yet, but hopefully I'll do that so you guys can have some mermaids to color in MerMay and participate on your own. Even if you can't draw or you don't want to draw them, you can just color them. And yeah, that's basically it. Another thing I struggled with, by the way, was her hair color, because I realized I have no idea how to color in blonde hair color without making it look either yellow or brown. So that's something that I really want to work on, and I think I don't really have the right color for it. I don't even know what the right color for this would be. I have to find some references on Google, or I'll search for it on YouTube, see how to do blonde hair with Copic markers, because I struggled quite a bit. Everything I did either pulled to yellow or to brown, and that wasn't really what I was going for. I wanted that very icy blonde, like ice queen blonde hair, and I couldn't get it. So yeah. For all the mermaids I've done so far, I realized that this was probably my favorite, so I hope you guys like it. I just love her pose. I love the vibe that she has. I love the energy of this whole mermaid. I just love it. It turned out so good. I'm so happy with it, and I know that I've drawn a few more, but they're not my favorite. Okay, this one is my favorite, so I really hope you guys enjoy it. In the beginning, I told you that I really didn't get the fascination with mermaids, and that's partly because I've never drawn mermaids. Something that I've seen Drawing with Waffles say and do a lot is say that mermaids help her relax her hand in her poses when she's drawing. So to kind of warm up for a more dynamic drawing, she draws mermaids. And I realized that just sketching these ones that I have right now, at this point, just sketching them really does help you do more dynamic poses, because they're very swishy. The mermaids, the whole idea with the fish tail and the fins and the hair underwater, the idea behind it is very swishy. So it definitely helps you relax your hand. It helps you just work more with silhouettes. I've always been really good at working better in terms of posing when I have a silhouette in mind, and that's an exercise that you guys can actually do. I took a character design class a few years back, and that's one of the exercises that we did. We would draw with the lasso tool on Photoshop, Oops, I just poked my microphone. So we would draw with the lasso tool on Photoshop some black silhouettes, just blobs basically, and we will turn those silhouettes into a drawing. And that I realized that that's really helpful, and it makes it very easy for you to imagine a more dynamic pose that you wouldn't necessarily draw from the get-go. So I found that that's very helpful, at least for me. You guys can always try it. If you'd like, I can do a short video just explaining basically the process. But yeah, drawing the whole silhouette at first really helps you figure out where different things go. And I found that I don't do that enough. I should do that more. And with mermaids, it's kind of, you have to do it. You can't just sit down and start drawing the face and the body and then just kind of figure out the tail. The whole idea of the mermaid and the body is that she's one big swooshy like thing. So it's very necessary for you to have an exact position in mind for both from head to toe or from head to fin. So if you want to do it more dynamic and swooshy, that's kind of what you need to do. Something that I should mention, you see me use the purple and the skin. I've seen so many artists do that. I feel like everyone shades their drawings and shades their character with purple. And at first on the small thumbnails it was fine, but when I transferred it to the big one, I freaked out for a second there because it was so purple. She started looking like a zombie, and that's definitely not what I wanted. But I ended up layering her skin tone more and more on top, and it kind of toned it down. But I really don't get how people do that. I don't understand how you shade with purple and how it looks so amazing on everybody else's drawings, but mine, I really don't. Maybe it's just my skin color pulls a little too orangey, so it kind of contrasts with the purple way too much. I don't know, maybe it's not complementary, even though purple and orange kind of are. But yeah, I freaked out for a second there, but layering the skin color on top of it for a long time and lots of layers kind of toned it down, so it's fine. And then I added some purple on the tail, and I think on the veil thingy, so it pulled it all together. But I definitely had a little freak out moment when I initially shaded it with purple. So yeah, I don't see it, you know, when I look at the finished drawing. I don't see, oh my god, why is her skin purple? I don't see that. I hope you guys don't see that too. But yeah, I still have to practice a lot because I have no idea how people do that. I tried shading more with the original colors that I used, just layering them on top, but it didn't work for the very pale colors, for instance on the tail and the hair. The hair didn't work at all. I wanted a lot more dimension, so I ended up going with a more darker brownish color for the shading. It didn't do quite as much, but it was the only thing I could do to not let it pull to brown or to yellow, because that were basically the two options that I had for coloring the hair: either shade it with brown or shade it with yellow, and I didn't want to do either of those, so I did as much as I could to add dimension to it with the resources that I have. So the background I kept very simple. I just added some blue lines to symbolize kind of the water that she's under, and I realized that the veil doesn't exactly do what veils would do in the water, but her hair does, so I hope you guys can forgive that. I really like the veil and how it turned out. I love the hair. The hair is probably my favorite part of the drawing, and her tail, the end of the tail with the fins. And I added some little bubbles here and there in the background behind her, just to symbolize again a little bit of the water. And that's basically it. So I am almost done with this drawing. I will add some pictures at the end of the finished product. Again, you can find it as a coloring page on Etsy or the finished piece on my Instagram. All links will be in the description bar down below. And I think that's about it for this one. Hopefully I see you next Friday when I'll be uploading mermaid number 2. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment, like, and subscribe if you like what you see and would like to see more. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!